Hello, this is Ken Yeager, live streaming from Daly City. Welcome to the 17th annual Facelift event called Act Local this year. Due to COVID, we decided to be safe and have everybody stay at home and clean locally this year. And anyway, we'd like to welcome everybody. And how did we end up in Daly City? Well, we were going to do a live stream in front of our new museum exhibit in the Yosemite Valley Visitor Center. And they closed the park, so Ed Whittle, our AV guy, had to run up there before 5 o'clock that day, get all our equipment out. Then we were going to do a live stream in our new museum facility in Mariposa. It got so smoky that it was toxic, and so our third plan was to rent a house down in Daly City and get out of all that smoke, and we're doing our live stream programming from a house we rented in Daly City. How many people, hopefully everybody out there is taking the pledge. How do you take the pledge? Well, we'd like you to go on our new website, YosemiteFacelift.com, and if you go up to the Toolkit 2020 button, has all information for the Facelift Act local event, and it has the pledge on there. It takes about 2 minutes to sign up, and once you're signed up, you can post a photo to Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter with the hashtag Facelift Act Local, and that enters you in our daily drawing, or giveaway, excuse me. And other than that, if you're watching the YouTube channel, don't forget to subscribe to the Yosemite Facelift YouTube channel. Now I'd like to turn it over to Allison.
Thanks so much, Ken. I'm Allison Gonzalez, Managing Director of the Yosemite Climbing Association, and we are here second night of Facelift Act Local. So excited for you all to be joining us. We're live streaming, and there's a great reason why we're live streaming. We had thought maybe we could pre-record all of our content, but we actually wanted to address issues with our event live. So some of the things that have come up for people, questions about the app Literati, and also how to send photos if they don't have social media. So for Literati, if you download the app, the challenge code for Facelift Act Local is Act Local without any spaces. We've decided that instead of taking photos of individual pieces of trash, you should take a photo of each bag of trash you collect every time you go out. And our metric will be bags of trash collected this year. So that kind of simplifies things. We got some feedback that it was hard to take a photo of every piece of trash. If you don't have social media, so to be entered in the giveaways, you need to take the pledge, as Ken mentioned, and he also mentioned that you need to hashtag a photo on social media with the hashtag Facelift Act Local. And if you don't have social media, you can send us a photo of your cleanup. You still have to take the pledge to YosemiteFacelift@gmail.com. We couldn't do this without you. We couldn't do this without our friends. And we have some great support of Facelift Act Local this year. Let's run a word from our friends and our sponsors.
Hey there, this is Celine Cousteau, just wanting to send a message of support for the Yosemite Facelift 2020 campaign, which is Facelift Act Local. Many of us aren't able to travel. Most of us aren't able to travel. So we won't be attending some of these cleanup projects in person, but that shouldn't deter us from doing something in our own backyard, in our own region, nationally, wherever it is that we can. Symbolically, cleaning up is all about understanding that the reason we're cleaning up is there's something in the environment that has been put there by humans. And really, the process is, after the cleanup, is also making those who may not know aware that these cleanups are happening the world over, because all of these different pollutions are happening in our environment. So it's our responsibility to act in prevention, not just in the cleanup process. But in whatever way that you can, wherever you are, please support this campaign symbolically and also through your heart, that this is something that we are all connected to, and maybe we can just use this moment to inspire each other and feel like we're acting like a community. So thank you. Thank you to all those behind the Yosemite Facelift program. Click on the toolkit to find out what you can do. Take the pledge, participate however you can.
What kind of value are you looking for with your next new vehicle? With Subaru, you get Kelley Blue Book's 2020 Best Resale Value brand, 2020 Lowest 5-Year Cost to Own brand, and Most Trusted brand for 6 consecutive years. No wonder Kelley Blue Book also picked Subaru as their 2020 Best Overall brand. A trusted brand and a proven value. It's easy to love a Subaru.
Hi there. Thank you for participating in Facelift Act Local. My name is Misia, and some of you may recognize me from working the booth at previous facelifts. Unfortunately, we're unable to gather in Yosemite this year, but I'll be doing my part by cleaning up along the coast at some of my favorite areas. I thank you for participating and doing the same in your areas, and I look forward to seeing you in Yosemite next year.
Hello, I'm back. One of my favorite things about Facelift is after it's all over is a chance to unwind. And the best way to do that for me is to hear some live music. We can't do that this year, but we're lucky enough that Wargirl is going to put some music videos together for us, and we're going to listen to one right now.
Hi, my name is Matt. I play guitar in Wargirl, and last year, easily one of our favorite shows was the Facelift Yosemite show. So when Ken asked us this year if we would record some stuff for the streaming Facelift, we jumped at the opportunity, and it's really just something that we love getting behind and being a part of, and it's just great to see what all of you are doing out there, and we would love to just see this thing continue to grow bigger and bigger, more bigger bands involved, and more people just cleaning up all over the world and just making the world a better place. I mean, this should become like an international holiday, right? So please enjoy the music and have a good week.
Whenever
Oh,
you guys are live
shoot.
right now.
Sorry.
Yeah, man, we're a girl. Last year we rocked out so hard Sunday night. It was so awesome. Could not do it without our musicians who support us. Also, our very wonderful sponsors, the North Face, who is co-presenting sponsor of Facelift Act Local this year, and Parks Project, who's a fairly new sponsor for us, has been helping us out with our t-shirts the last couple years. So thank you, the North Face and Parks Project.
Hi, I'd like to talk about Subaru. We've been working with Subaru the last 4 years, and they're an awesome partner. They support us with a vehicle. They are the official vehicle of the Yosemite Facelift and Facelift Act Local. And we've got about a 6-minute piece from Denise Coogan, who's going to talk about how Subaru actually does recycling, and they're a zero landfill company. So from that, I'd like to show you the video from Denise. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Denise Coogan, Manager of Environmental Partnerships for Subaru of America. Thank you for joining us here for Facelift Act Local. It's a recycling and cleanup event that Subaru is helping to sponsor, and we're really glad that you're here participating. In 2004, Subaru was the first automotive manufacturer to become zero landfill, meaning that nothing from the production of our vehicles is thrown into the landfill. Over the years, we've developed a set of principles for a more sustainable manufacturing. We start by reducing waste being generated, reusing where we can, and then recycling what is left. We took these principles that we had honed at the Subaru plant and put them to use in the national parks. And we started with 3 parks, Grand Teton, Denali, and Yosemite. We've been working with them for 5 years now, helping them to increase the recycling and decrease the amount of waste that's being generated by the visitors that are coming to the national parks. The recycling rate is going up, which is really a good thing. At Denali, they started out at 22% recycling. Now they're up to 45%. At Grand Teton National Park, they started out at 26%. They're now up to 50%. And in Yosemite, they started out at 23%, and they're at 40% recycling rate. The national recycling rate is around 34%. The parks are exceeding that rate, and they continue to improve each year. We also measure the amount of waste being generated by each visitor. Over the last 5 years, the amount of waste per visitor is decreasing. That tells me that our education efforts are working. People are being more thoughtful about what they are bringing into the parks and what they are leaving behind. The Leave No Trace principles are always good to remember when you're venturing out to enjoy the national parks and other public lands. One of those principles is to pack it in and pack it out if you can't recycle properly at the parks. One of the great projects at the Grand Teton National Parks is the way they're doing their composting. When they started, they were composting 73 tons of waste per year. Last year, they composted 274 tons of waste. That's a remarkable amount of organic material that's being kept out of the landfills. One of the projects that Denali National Park has is to recycle their snack wrappers. In 2018, they recycled 2 tons. Last year, they recycled 3.4 tons. These are hard to recycle items that are sent to TerraCycle, where they are recycled into park benches, picnic tables, and chairs that can be used back into our communities. One of the projects that Yosemite National Park has is to increase the amount of containers they have throughout the park so people can recycle right. We've been working with Recycle Across America to standardize recycling labels in these 3 parks, as well as many other national parks and public lands. We want to make it easy for people to be successful when they recycle. By just looking at the RAA labels, it's easy to discern what material goes in which container. There's approximately 331 million visitors to the national park units every year. Visitors can really help by just bringing your reusable water bottles. There's great filling stations in the parks that you can use and fill up your water bottles. Bring your reusable coffee mugs. Opt out for paper maps if you can. If you're in an area where you have good cell service, you can use electronic maps. If you're camping, bring reusable containers and take them back home. To reduce composting, just bring enough food that you'll need for your camping trip. Make sure you put the right material in the right container. Don't just fill up a bag of stuff and throw it in the trash, especially if that bag contains plastic bottles and cans that you can put in the recycling. So always make sure that you're recycling right. We have some wonderful partners that are helping Subaru with the national parks. The National Parks Conservation Association have been with us from day one, and they've been wonderful in helping us get this project off the ground and really helping us with the National Park Service, which is just another wonderful partner that we've been working with, as well as the National Park Foundation. Leave No Trace has been a wonderful partner with Subaru for over 20 years. Their educational programs have been helping people enjoy the outdoors for many years. We work with community landfills and recycling centers to ensure that once a material is collected in the parks, that it can be sent to recyclers. We also work with schools, putting together projects for kids to work on, because really they are our future. Those are the people who will be coming forward and carrying this torch into the next 100 years. And we're also working with our concessionaires at the national parks, and they've been wonderful in helping us expand this program into their own areas. It really does take a village, and it really takes the entire community to come together pulling in the same direction. We all want to belong to something bigger than ourselves, and we are going to make sure that we leave this world, and especially the national parks, a little better for our next generation. Our Subaru retailers are doing their part to love the environment. In the last 2 years, our Subaru retailers have recycled over 4 million pieces of hard-to-recycle waste. Things such as snack wrappers, disposable coffee cups, lids and straws, coffee and creamer capsules. All those things were taken and made into things that can be used in the communities. Today, when you're picking up the litter, make sure you go through it and pull out those items that you can take to your participating Subaru retailer. You can go to TerraCycle.com to find out who's participating in the program. On behalf of Subaru of America and all of our Subaru retailers, we really want to thank you for coming out to participate in Facelift Act Local.
Oh, hey, it's Timmy O'Neill, and we are live in Daly City, San Francisco, California, United States of America, the Earth, the universe. It's amazing. And I just want to start by saying thanks for joining us for this virtual event, and let's have a COVID hug right now. Just go ahead, reach out to your computer screen, have a hug, maybe another one. Yeah, good to see everybody. Thanks for tuning in for day 2, 17th annual. You know what that means? 17 years this event has been happening with the help of 2 incredible individuals who are just on the other side of these cameras, and that is Jim Painter and Ed Whittle. We thank you for your production value because it is beautiful. Today, we had an amazing day of cleaning up some trash by Lake Merced. We took turns on the stand-up paddleboard, and then that was just flat. Then we took it to Pacifica to the beach, and we brought the board out and we got trundled. One after another, we got beat down. Ken even took one to the dome, blood running down like a warrior. And then, with blood on his face, tail tucked between his legs, he cleaned up more trash because that's Ken Yeager, founder of this wild facelift event, which we are acting local, meaning you're at home. Caroline Treadway, are you watching right now? Because you're cleaning up trash 40 hours this week. We love you. So acting local means maybe cleaning up your bathroom, that's good, but maybe taking it outside to your local areas. The litter stick, maybe some gloves. We have a great program tonight, and night after night after night. We have a special guest in the house. We have Max Buscini and his film Peter and the Columns. He'll be stopping in for a Q&A. And next up, we bring you Untamed Antarctica, right? And that had Mike Lebecki, dozens and dozens of global expeditions, inviting his friends, Corey Richards, Freddie Wilkinson, who said, climbing with Mike Lebecki is like playing San Francisco with Led Zeppelin. Epic! And that Lebecki is one of the most consummate explorers he knows. And Keith Lazinski also on that. Keith saying after 5, 6 expeditions, he can't wait to go back again. They're planning 2 more for next year. And that Lebecki taught him how to really push when under fire. When the going gets tough, Lebecki's down to make it happen. So let's watch Mike Lebecki and the boys in Untamed Antarctica.
This is one of the most challenging environments for a climber you can visit anywhere on planet Earth.
When I come out here on an expedition to climb a first descent, I know there's going to be fear. It's going to be scary. Without fear, I think it wouldn't be safe.
Rocky Keith. Whoa, dude. A big part of the game is approaching these unclimbed, unexplored mountains and looking for the most creative, the coolest way to get to the top. This expedition is about going to one of the last mountain frontiers on terrestrial Earth. The plane will take off, headed south to Antarctica. The only catch is there's not enough fuel on this plane once we get about 2/3 of the way there to be able to turn back and return to Cape Town if something goes wrong. Once we pass that point, that's known as the point of no return.
And you get on and you're just like, all right, buckle up, hope it makes it. And it's like this capsule. There's no windows. All there are these big, huge international flags hanging down the side of it, and a whole bunch of blue-collar, badass Russians who have seen more shit in their life than I will ever see.
As the plane was coming in on final and landing, you're thinking through your head, hope this pilot knows what he's doing. It was a relief to feel the plane touch down on the blue ice runway. It's vast, empty wilderness. Miles and miles and miles of ice around us.
The plan was to do a quick stop here at Novo Station, only to switch planes and get shuttled out to the mountains where we could set up our base camp on the ice. The weather, unfortunately, has different plans for us.
Yesterday it was whiteout ground blizzard conditions all day. We're all getting antsy.
But we are doing every little bit we can to be ready to go when we hit the ice.
It's a little bit like cough syrup.
Cheers. Anytime you're delayed on a trip like this, it allows you a little time to get to know the people you encounter along the way. Very good.
Moonshine.
Oh, it's the moonshine. Cheers, and thank you very much for your hospitality. Delays are par for the course. If it was a relatively simple flight and simple logistics, people would have already been where we're going.
То есть вот здесь вот минимальная температура, немного превышает 60 градусов.
We put our heads together with Louis, the pilot, and his crew, looked at the forecast and saw just this little blip in the forecast where there was going to be some high pressure moving in and we could try to launch.
So we should the time is now, we go for this.
Here we go! Throttle up! We decided to go for it and took off. It's a really alien landscape. We could be looking out at the window at Mars, for better or worse. Hundreds of mountains that are unclimbed.
We could go over there, but it seems like we've got some stuff we can get done here. Oh, look at that beautiful summit over there.
The feeling of isolation kicked in immediately. You're watching the last piece of comfort and warmth just take off into the sky. And then all of a sudden it got dead silent.
We built 6-foot-high walls, 360 degrees. We could not have flown in a smaller weather window.
And we knew life was about to be very different for the next 45 days.
for adventure, and that's what we got. And so it's only begun, man.
We're heading out on a ski tour to circumnavigate one range of peaks, survey the peaks from different angles, and kind of come up with an action plan of different lines we want to try to climb, different mountains we want to explore further.
Just holding it, and then just bam, it'll go down.
Well, okay.
In watching Mike take off, as soon as the wind picked up his canopy and he shot out of there like a slingshot, immediately we realized this was a terrible idea. So we strapped our skins back on and just started trekking. As the sun was setting, this really heavy storm kicked in. Immediately we had to start working together as a team, digging in hard and fast. The only thing we could find was this really tiny boulder that we could take shelter behind.
We've got about 3 foot drift in our vestibule, the front door of our tent that I had to dig out. The wind's super high and we're just trying to deal head down, sufferfest. Just trying to survive more than anything else right now.
I'm looking for a route that'll reveal itself, and hopefully we can connect some lines and find something and go climbing.
Day 3 of our ski tour, just getting ready to go crush and see what's around the corner on this huge, massive blue ice plateau. It's like being on the coast of a frozen ocean.
We were all shocked to stumble upon this Indian capsule out in the middle of nowhere.
You can see this survival shelter, or this living unit, was just bowled over by 150-mile-an-hour winds. Who knows, maybe stronger. Definitely makes you feel a little bit vulnerable, fragile human out here. We could just be taken out at any time, no doubt about it.
The weather here, it's raw and it's brutal, and it just beats the shit out of you.
After that recon to look for routes, getting back to our camp, it was ravaged. The katabatic winds had come in and just had its way with our camp and destroyed it. A couple of the tents that we'd left set up were completely covered by spindrift snow. Holes broken, tents collapsed. Without us there to maintain it, it was destroyed.
The crazy thing is it hasn't snowed an inch since we've been here. That's all wind-driven snow. So...
savage, dude.
Pretty savage. Look at this. This is fucked.
Real deal, man. Antarctica. It's Thanksgiving. We're so thankful for the sweetness of life, man.
This is Thanksgiving. Instant mashed potatoes with lots of butter.
We dug out, we picked up the pieces, and realized we had to find a safer base camp, a place that we could really rely on in the worst weather that Antarctica throws at us. Well, that one just has like a perfect cooking zone with protected. We found a great spot here in the boulders, nestled, living with the snow petrels and the skuas. 2 beautiful spires right above us. The hour is almost here and we get to climb.
Happy birthday, Freddie.
It's my birthday, and it's the first pitch of the trip.
Have fun, be safe, love life.
Yeah.
We're up for one of the biggest challenges of our lives.
This tower has an amazing crack system going from bottom to top. It's the biggest, proudest, most formidable aspect of the mountain.
This is a kind of climbing that I've never experienced before. It's a kind of rock quality and featured face of rock that I've never experienced. So far, it's just been fascinating. It's been really scary.
What's up, rock?
Slocky geek. Damn it. Whoa, dude. What really concerns both Lebecki and I is this huge refrigerator-sized death block about 15 feet above the belay. It really is making for a unique, challenging climb to negotiate this kind of terrain safely. See what a trippy landscape this is?
Yes.
It's like Dr. Seuss rock. It sounds hollow, it sounds like it'll break. If it does break, you're gonna fall a long way because it's very hard to protect. There aren't a lot of cracks. It's really spooky climbing. And then you throw in the elements of the wind and some clouds, and all of a sudden you have this environment where you're like, wow, this is, we're really, 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 really far out there. And if anything goes wrong right now, we're thatched.
Looks like could get real today. Snow, wind, and catabatic mayhem. Trying to save the penguins.
Yeah, save the penguins. What a ridiculous scene.
It's horrible.
It's cold, it's windy, it'll kill you in a matter of hours.
The wind has not stopped.
Catabatic winds, yo! It's getting real out here. Freddy's tent just got shredded. He jumped into Corey's. Man, it's getting real deal.
It got under the floor and I felt it, and then it just like that. Whole tent flipped. And then it threw me about 6 feet over a 2-foot wall. We've been pretty much tent bound for going on 4 days because of the winds. We hope we get picked up for Christmas.
Well, it's a beautiful frosty day. We finally got some snow. This is a gift. Beautiful out here. We're going up, man. We're gonna take all of our gear to our high point and then keep climbing and try to get to the top. We've just been surviving the catabatic winds, and finally we've got some good weather and we're climbing, and nice to be climbing. I think for every day that we've been able to actually climb, we've had 2 days of heavy, strong sort of catabatic winds. So it's been a real challenge just to continue progress up the wall. But now we're at a point at a really big natural ledge up there.
And it's within striking distance of the top. We guess there's maybe 800 feet to go.
Climbing.
Climb on. Every pitch is an adventure. You leave the belay not knowing what to expect. We're the first people up there. The black band about 6 feet above your head.
I think I can kind of get back over here.
Yeah. You really need to be prepared for everything.
I might just need the
Do a little tap, tap, tap.
rivet action.
Sure.
That's still gonna be scary.
The consequences of falling just about on every section of this climb were definitely severe.
This just looks kind of,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh, I know.
not very fun. I think gotta pull it off on my head. If you take a fall, you could easily cut a line, and that's it, death. There was death lurking up there. It was beautiful and frightening.
Snow, sun, snow, sun. That's about what we're dealing with. For how serious and savage an environment it is, there is an equivalent beauty. Just looking out on this landscape of hundreds of mountains that are unclimbed.
You're working and you're working and you're suffering and you're having fun and you're laughing and you're getting to know each other and your deepest secrets come out. You know, it's a short-term marriage without sex, of course.
Your side of the bed? My side of the bed.
The view is just incredible. It's nice to be in a place that no man has ever been before, and it's just love it up here.
Climbing the wall was an extreme technical challenge. It required a lot of gear, a lot of time, a lot of effort.
It was really enjoyable climbing on these big handholds and these big caves and wacos and kind of climbing through these jungle gym kind of rock. You can easily give it the standard ratings throughout climbing and mountaineering, but it goes above and beyond that. It's mystery because, you know, it's a first ascent. I mean, we climbed the steepest, proudest line on the tower. No doubt in my mind.
Yeah! Sick! Hell yeah!
Yo, we're on the summit, we're loving life, and we're psyched. We're in Antarctica. It kind of feels like standing upside down on the bottom of the earth. Awesome trip. The life is sweet, the time is now, and we're hoping for a safe descent. Over.
Getting to the top, it was a relief because I didn't want to see all that time and effort that we had invested in the line and not be successful.
You get to the top and you're so excited, but you know you're halfway. The summit's on the ground.
We're packing up the air pig.
The air pig. Explain the air pig.
Well, there are pigs built for hauling and pigs built for airing. This little piggy's gonna go wee, wee, wee all the way down.
1, 2, 3. Dude, that was a great toss, man. Like, the bag had a big rip in it already.
It was the perfect soldier for it, huh?
Loving life.
Taking off in the plane and looking down at the place we had just lived for 45 days and the tower that we had just successfully climbed, we knew we just had an adventure that would take with us for the rest of our lives.
I've learned that where there's a will, there's a way. I know that if you have a dream, you can go get it. You just have to have the patience and optimism. Loving life!
Antarctica, bitches! Woo!
Wow, that was epic. I'm so gripped. It was so much suffering. I need to have a drink.
Oh man, there's so much going on. I keep forgetting to grab a beer.
Allison, come
I
on,
know.
pay attention.
Oh, thank you, trash grabber.
Wow, delicious. Ooh, I love that sound.
Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah. COVID
Tioga
cheers.
Sequoia, we love them. For 2 years, they've been featuring facelift art on the Yosemite Facelift beer. You can check them out. Tioga Sequoia beer in California. This year, Jeremy Ashcroft's art is featured on a pale ale, so check it out. Gonna take a sip of this real quick.
Yeah, have a sip. And Mike's film, I guess he was there in Antarctica solo, and he befriended these Russians, and over a lot of like raspberry Stoli vodka shots, he convinced them to fly him, and he found these unclimbed epic peaks, and then he got in touch with Nat Geo and Sadie Quarrier, and she made it happen. She pulled the team together, Nat Geo photographers, Nat Geo writers, and lo and behold, how do they make that film, though? Have you ever experienced winds like that?
I have experienced crazy winds down in Patagonia and could barely walk. Like, was so excited to have trekking poles because it was like, had to throw myself against the ground sometimes not to be swept away. Can't imagine trying to do what they did down there in those conditions. Amazing.
Major shaky camera. And then remember last year, Mike and his daughter Liliana Lebecki presented at Facelift. And she, if you remember, was running that 501c3, the Joy Fund. And basically the Joy Fund takes computers and solar and does these humanitarian missions. And what she's really hoping to do is create more kindness and more acts of goodness.
Yeah, Liliana and Mike, we're so lucky to have them in our community. Awesome.
And Mike is the man behind the mask. He's been on dozens and dozens of these expeditions, and he has these Lebecki-isms, like never ration passion, joy and pre-joy, and then, of course, the time is now. The time is now for our giveaways.
Our giveaways.
Yeah.
Yes. And before we go to our giveaways, I actually want to plug our auction. You can go to our auction on facelift.givesmart.com. Today, I want to show a couple photos that we have from Dean Feidelman. This is Steph Davis on Outer Limits. So this is an 11 by 14. Thank you, Timmy. Framed and matted print. Go check it out, facelift.givesmart.com. And here we have Corbin Usinger on the High Line over Taft Point, another wonderful print from Dean Feidelman. Dean has been helping us out with our Yosemite Climbing Association Museum and Gallery in Mariposa. So thank you to Dean for his wonderful donation, and to the Yosemite Climbing Association, who has provided some other prints as well on our auction site.
We love Bullwinkle.
The
yes,
time
Dean.
is now?
Yes, the time is now.
Okay, the giveaways. Great. Today we are adding a giveaway. These are 2 black diamond headlamps that are going to go to Triac is one on Instagram, cleaning up in Tujunga, California. 2 headlamps. I don't know, one for the front, one for the back, one for cleanup tomorrow night, one for your friend.
One for a friend. Allison friends. They're important.
Absolutely.
They help you clean up together. Yeah.
Thank you, Tiffany.
Yeah, of course.
Where would we be without our friends? Second, we've got a Das Parka from Patagonia. Thank you, Patagonia, for the giveaway. This is going to Brooklyn_boss. So congratulations. Thank you so much for cleaning up today. Next, we have the
Micropuff. Yeah.
Micropuff. Thank you.
Micropuff
Thank you,
hoodie.
Tiffany.
Yeah.
Micropuff hoodie, also from Patagonia. Nicola, I remember Nicola from years past, cleaning up in Oakhurst. And our last giveaway of the day.
It's huge, too.
It is. It is huge.
Yeah.
Could I get that drum roll again? We have a unisex single-speed bike from Subaru. Thank you, Subaru. Again, going to, I can't believe it, Greg Lee, Greg Go West. So exciting.
That's amazing.
Yes, Greg,
Excellent.
congratulations. Thank you.
And we're giving a bike away every day,
Yes.
So we have this, and the people, of course, doing that pledge, getting that hashtag, it's all there in the toolkit, and then they go in the running for amazingness. So, as we were saying, the time is now. Thank you, Allison. And next up, we bring you a wonderful film, and it is Peter and the Columns, made by Max Buscini. And Max is going to be joining us for a Q&A right after. Don't go anywhere. Please enjoy Peter and the Columns.
How do you feel?
Good.
Yeah?
Yeah, really good.
Why do you feel good?
It was a good day yesterday. Yeah.
You woke up good?
I woke up feeling good yesterday.
Peter, are you ready? I'm ready.
Like feeling really good. And then it was a great race.
Hans, are you ready? Yes. 5, 4, 3.
It was fun.
2, 1.
Nice people there, good crowd. Just a good day.
Let's just talk about Pete. So how did you meet Pete, and tell us about what you know of Peter.
Yeah, so Pete's been a colleague of mine for 5 or 6 years now. I first met him through a story assignment to do a review of his book, Let Them Be Eaten by Bears.
Jamie, she was doing an interview, and we've done a few interviews together over the years. She asked me all these questions on topic for her article, and then at the end she said, I know you love to do like weird challenges for yourself, so what's something you've been doing lately? And I said, well, I've been doing LCAP days at my local crag.
And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, it's this little crag we have in Eugene. It's basalt, it's like 40 feet. And he's like, so basically what I do is I just take nonstop runs on it. He's like, cause you get enough in there and it's basically the equivalent of climbing LCAP.
My friend and I measured the columns and got an average height of 47 feet. We looked in this mountaineering guidebook to LCAP, and then we looked at the nose, and the nose would be a little over 63 laps at the column, 63 climbs in a single day if you were gonna do a naiad, a nose in the day.
He goes on to explain this whole thing about LCAP day at the columns and how he's working his time down and he's got like the new record. So I started teasing him. I'm gonna tell Hans Florine about this.
I knew that she had written a book with Hans Florine, but I didn't know how close they were, and I didn't know if she was being serious.
You know what he's gonna do? He's gonna be like, well, I could beat him. And he's gonna come out and he's gonna kick your ass.
But then in a couple hours, Hans Florine emailed me, and he's like, man, we should do it.
Yeah, I totally love the idea. I mean, that's one of my favorite things, right? I love climbing. The only thing more than climbing I love is lots more climbing, right? So someone trying to do the mileage of El Cap is a super cool idea.
I've been writing about Hans's athletic prowess for a long time now. I climbed the nose with him. I know how strong he is, how meticulous he is, how competitive he is. Like, if you're gonna go up against Hans Florine, you're not gonna win.
Hans, he's kind of up there with Thor in my book. He's just a total superhero.
He's climbed the nose more than anyone else.
And faster than anyone until most recently Alex Honnold and Tommy Caldwell broke the record.
I think of him like one hand locked in a crack on the nose, shirtless, blonde hair flowing behind him, just absolutely chiseled, ripped, gold medalist, world speed climbing champion, 3 times X Games champion. I mean, I just think of like, rock climbing, speed climbing, Superman. That's what I think of.
And then we have this local guy. So I was like, well, don't discount Pete. If he's there locally practicing it, like he's got the same advantage Hans has on the actual El Cap.
There are a few other people, 40 years or something, who have explored the columns as much as he has.
He really thinks it's like the best place in Eugene, and he'll just like climb route after route there, like all day. When I was little, we would literally spend all day there.
Peter is the guy that never seems to change over time. The world changes all around him, but he remains constant. He is the one who will call you 9 o'clock at night when it's 25 degrees out and say, hey, we should go to the columns right now because no one ever climbs there when it's 25 degrees out.
Well, obviously, I hope my dad wins, but I think Hans is probably gonna win, honestly. But he's never climbed up the columns, so I don't know. My dad could definitely win.
Race day. Racing Hans Florine this morning. Best speed climber of all time. It's just kind of crazy. But he's come up here and we're gonna climb an El Cap together at the columns. Grace 3,000 feet of climbing in one morning. And I was so excited last night I couldn't even really sleep. I mean, I never really believe something is like crazy is gonna happen until it happens. So I'm always like, oh yeah, you know, like I guess I might race Hans Florine at the columns, and I just didn't 100% believe it until it was going to happen.
We're not like gonna try to actually start in 4 minutes and 30 seconds, are we?
No, because I'm gonna read what we're doing first. All right, everybody. Anybody who's here?
Hi, everybody. Go, Pete! What the?
Thank you, everybody, for coming. Thank you for everybody helping. It's super awesome. This is Hans Florine, if you haven't met him. Hollywood Hans Florine. Hans is gonna start on a 5A plus over there. I'm gonna start on a 5A plus here. We're gonna each do 8 warm-up laps on there and then jump to 510s. Then I'll be on some harder routes while he's on easier routes, and then he'll be on some harder routes while I'm on easier routes. We'll all do the same routes. I think we're good to go. We're just gonna get our harnesses on. He's gonna get his food set.
You know, this is Pete's place. He knows it really well. Hans is a far superior climber, but Pete's a good climber, and he's especially good there. So as a competition, you know, I think it'll be kind of dramatic.
Hey, we're friends now. Just remember the friends right now. Okay.
Peter, are you ready?
I'm ready.
We're gonna go easy on each other.
Okay, you ready?
Hans, are you ready?
Yes.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
There's kind of some big things physically going on for both of us. He and I had plans in 2018 to do this race.
I get a text from him. It was May 4th saying, I won't be climbing in Eugene, Oregon.
Hans, while training for this fake El Cap, was climbing on the real El Cap, and he fell and shattered his ankles.
I'm leading, placing gear. I was placing this nut in the crack. When I stand up on this, this pops out of the rock. So I just shoot straight down along the rock and hit this ledge. Hey, it's Hans, and that's the great roof behind me. It's about 2 o'clock, and I'm pretty sure I've broken one or both of my legs. Just at an ugly angle. I don't know, I don't want to be like Hammond McNeely and show you something gnarly. It's not that bad.
Had tib fib fracture on the left side.
Crushed my right calcaneus heel into 6 pieces and broke my tib fib on my left leg.
So Hans has never taken a fall on El Cap. I think at that point that was his 109th ascent maybe. He was completely incapacitated. He needed to be in a wheelchair.
We've done El Cap together so many times that for him to actually have that bad an accident that he needed to call 911 and Yosar was just a little bit that I had to get a wrap around.
When I called him to check on him, like right after the accident, just say, oh man, I'm really sorry. Like, our race doesn't really matter, you know, like, how are you doing? He had such an awesome attitude. He was like, well, to be honest, my core is gonna get so strong this year. I'm really excited about my core getting strong. Okay, he's that kind of guy. You know, going on for me is that I was biking to work, then I was biking south on a road not far from the school where I teach, and this SUV cut alley to alley, and I just crushed the back quarter panel and went out into the street.
He was really rattled, but, you know, talking the good talk about, yeah, I'm okay, I think I'm just fine, and I don't think I hit my head, and he, you know, turned out he'd crushed his head and his helmet was split in pieces, and that's had a pretty significant effect on him. And there are, I mean, some really major things that are much better now, but still some lingering effects.
Broke my scapula, shattered my bike helmet, and suffered a traumatic brain injury. And so, off and on, I've really struggled with that injury. I've had aphasia where I do word switching. I had focal seizures, which are partial seizures where your brain just kind of times out. Grand mal seizures where you pass out and you seize for 1 to 3 minutes. I did cognitive therapy. I did neurovision therapy. Now I'm doing neuropsychology, and I've gotten a lot better. Through the whole process, I mostly just try to keep climbing. You know, climbing as much as I can because climbing's something I love.
Instead of that making the race doubly certain not to happen, it was like everything shifted. And it was like both men were like, oh no, this is still gonna happen. Like, we're both gonna make a comeback and we're gonna race. It sort of became like a mantra or an inspiration for them to heal and to heal back to the same place they were, if not better.
I think having a goal is always good for training.
You can't sit there and do hundreds of reps of core without some goal out there to kind of drive you.
Having this goal out there saying, okay, I'm gonna climb against Hans Florine and I'm gonna climb at the columns and I wanna beat him. I mean, you're really motivated and you're really focused, and that goal just kind of keeps that out there.
What began as just a sort of fun way for me to tease Peter by saying, I'm gonna send Hans Florine out to the columns to kick your butt. It became this race that like meant something to both men, like on this really visceral level, almost on a spiritual level. Like it became so much more than a goofy, fun rock climbing race.
So going into that last lap, it was just like everybody chanting my name, and I'm climbing up there and I'm thinking, I'm really gonna do this. Like, this is a real thing, this is a real moment. And then got up to the top and I threw that rope. I mean, I just exploded. I was so excited. And a brain injury, you know, obviously is a terrible thing, but it's kind of a weird gift too, at least my brain injury, because I'm more emotional. I build better relationships now. I'm closer to my daughters. I'm kinder to my students. I'm just kind of kinder to people in general. And I think like, if I hadn't experienced that, I wouldn't quite be the person relationally that I am now. Or that's kind of how I'm choosing to look at it.
Like the fact that both of these men are there at the columns, at the bottom of the crag, like ready to race. I mean, that's just a huge victory right there. Like at that point, it didn't matter what happened afterwards. It didn't matter who won, really. Just that they did it. It was just pure awesome.
record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hey, Jamie.
Hey, Jamie.
We finished our El Cap day here. It was super fun.
It was really fun.
All because of you.
Yeah, thank you so much for getting us together.
I
was pretty cool.
Really exhausted, rappelling and climbing the distance of El Cap in a silly little crag in the middle of Eugene.
Yeah, it was great though. We really appreciate you. It's just perfect.
Whatever sarcasm you hear in my voice, I really did love it.
All right. Awesome work. And we have with us Max Buscini. Max, how are you?
I'm doing good, Tim. Thanks for asking.
Yeah. And thanks for driving over from Walnut Creek. As you all know, we're here in Daly City, San Fran, and Walnut Creek, just on the other side of the bay.
Yeah.
And you're this kid from Walnut Creek. I'm curious about the arc of your filmmaking. Like, how did you, this is your first film, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how did you get to this point?
Yeah, well, it's funny. So I guess we can just start from when I first started rock climbing when I was 18. I mean, I love film pretty much my whole life since I first went to the movie theater. But I saw a CERN film, which you may know of. It's called 180 Degrees South.
I know it well. Yeah.
You may be in it or something.
True.
And it basically it's about Jeff Johnson, who's from Danville, which is 2 towns away from me. So it was really cool to see this story about Jeff, who's from, same place I am, going to Yosemite and Patagonia. I'd never been to Yosemite before at that point. And so I basically saw El Cap climbing for my first time ever in this movie and saw you guys climbing North American Wall. It was awesome.
With Keith
So
Malloy up there, the big wave surfer.
Yeah.
Surfing the granite wave.
Yeah, and he's like never climbed before. Well, I
Right.
climbed very little. And so I was really psyched to see that. I was like, oh, maybe I could do this at some point. And there was a gym really close to my house. And I showed up to this gym with my friend. And basically I was like, I want to climb El Cap. I want to learn about climbing El Cap. And
which gym is this? Is that the Diablo gym?
this is Diablo Rock Gym.
Diablo
yeah,
Rock
in
Gym,
Concord.
okay.
Yeah.
In Concord.
Yeah.
Whoop, whoop. Make some noise.
And so my friend's like, oh, well, you should talk to the manager. And I was like, oh, what's his name? He's like, oh, his name's Hans Flooring. And so I was like, oh, Hans Flooring, has he climbed El Cap before? And
Has he climbed El Cap? Just a little.
Just a tiny bit, maybe more than everybody else in the world, right?
Yeah.
So basically Hans hired me at the gym, and then I studied film at University of Oregon, Eugene, where the columns are actually located.
Mm-hmm.
And so I climbed at the columns quite a bit when I was going to school there. So I knew about the columns. And then when Hans got his accident, I had this idea of filming Hans.
Right.
We started filming together, and then I basically got pulled in by a friend named Andrew Peterson, who's the co-director on this film. And Andrew got me into this film. So I guess that's the arc.
And then you live in Hans Florin's basement right now.
Yes.
That's amazing. I like that. Like you become so close to the story that you live in one of the main subjects' homes, right? It's like you really are married to this project. But with Hans's accident, he has these physical, injuries. Boom, his legs break. But yet he's so determined. If you could talk about sort of what you saw in him and what made him capable of achieving such a goal, like working with Peter.
Yeah, so it was pretty hard watching Hans at first because, just it was kind of crazy seeing him in a wheelchair. He had 2 casts. He broke both his legs, and he had this external cage on one. But basically from day one, I was just couldn't believe his positivity. He was just like, oh, don't worry, my upper body's going to get just so strong. I'm just going to get more shredded than I ever have in my entire life, right? And I was just blown away by his mentality because most people will just feel defeated at that point.
Right.
And
throwing
he
the towel or
totally
something.
throwing the towel. Exactly. Just throwing the towel and done. He said, basically, he would talk about, I got this race with Peter at the columns, and he's like, I got to stay fit. And so it was just having this goal. He was just willing to just keep climbing, or not climbing, but just working out and staying and climbing.
And setting this goal and having this regimen and really, religiously following his protocol, I'm sure. I mean, that's Hans, to the second and detail. And then Peter with this traumatic brain injury. So in the film, both of the participants, it's surprising, both of the reveals. So good job there on your editing. And then you don't expect to hear that Peter also is dealing with this So as that, as a powerful message, I was wondering, what were you hoping the viewers to feel from this film? What were you hoping to leave them with?
Yeah, so I think what I wanted the viewers to feel in this film is, I'm really happy the film came out during all the craziness going on in the world right now, and it's really hard for everyone, because I think, we all go through hardships in some form or another. I wanted someone to feel at the end of this film like, seeing the hardships they went through and like kind of apply it to their life, being, when instead of throwing in the towel when you go through something really difficult, you kind of look at it with a different mentality. It's all about mentality, at least I think, and being optimistic and trying to find something to like kind of push yourself into like a goal. In order to achieve that, you got to keep training and mentally and physically. And I think having something there and keeping that really good positive mentality will help you get out of it.
It's interesting too, because climbing is already difficult, right? And then we're going to add a traumatic brain injury or Hans's 2 broken legs, and it's going to become even more difficult. But a great friend of mine, Eric Weinmayer, who's a blind climber, and he climbed Mount Everest, and I recently climbed Ama de Blanc last November with him. And he has this great line that what's within you is stronger than what's in your way.
Yeah.
Right? So that character building and that ability to have that wherewithal and that self-reliance as well. So well done on that. I want to know what's next for you.
Yeah, what's next for me is, on Friday we're going to be playing another video that I just made, another film with Dean Fidelman.
Oh, good. Cool.
Good friend of Dean Bullwinkle.
And that's the art of our culture, or what is it again?
It's called The Art of Our Culture.
The Art of Our Culture. Very cool. Cool film.
Yeah, he's an incredible artist. So,
and then you're probably having a beer after this interview as well.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be what's next also. And then really what's next for us immediately is there's this screaming guitar idol. This guy is like this beautiful music, all guitar. And we've got this video. We're going to play it. It's Hedras Ramos, and it's some really beautiful music. And let's hear it, guys. Let's be blown away. I want to play with this guy on El Capitan. Can we do it? Hedras, please.
Hey guys, what's up? Hedras here. I just want to say thanks to everybody that is helping with the cleaning and recycling. I think this is a great cause, and I think we should keep supporting this. I believe we should keep our oceans, our rivers and lakes, our forests, our streets very clean, and we should teach this to next generations and just keep supporting this and educating people. So great work out there, and let's keep doing this. Cheers.
Oh man, Hedras Ramos, amazing, amazing musician. I can't wait to have him in Yosemite in the future. Our community is growing this year, which is awesome. We already gave some giveaways to people all over the country. Wanted to say that we are doing this event because we're so happy to be a part of this litter pickup challenge with you. And we're so happy that you're joining us for Facelift Act Local this year. I saw on Facebook yesterday that one of our friends from Yosemite Facelift is helping to organize a Zoom yoga class on Friday and Saturday, I believe, with Global Tribe Retreats. His name is Joe Fortney. So if you look them up on Facebook and you want to interact with some of the members in the community, you can join that Zoom yoga class that's popped up today. So thank you, Joe, and thank you, Global Tribe Retreats, for offering that yoga class. We're doing really well with pledges. If you're watching this YouTube channel and you haven't yet subscribed, you should subscribe. You'll know when we're going live as soon as you subscribe. Also, take the pledge if you haven't. YosemiteFacelift.com. You can find all the information at the toolkit. And I wanted to say we're really proud of the number of people who have signed up. We're so grateful for you. As of before this break, we had 663 adults signed up. And this is awesome, 115 kids. So Ken and I are going to give a little more thought to how we can thank all of the kids who have signed up for Facelift Act Local this year. For anybody who's been to Facelift in Yosemite, you remember giving away items to kids is one of our favorite parts, the raffle after every day of the cleanup. So again, our community is growing, which is so exciting for us.
Yeah, I'd like to mention that we received 2 videos today. And Faisal from Saudi Arabia, thank you for cleaning up trash for Facelift Act Local. And I'd also like to thank Hazel Finley for her video cleaning up trash in the UK. I should also mention that Facelift is a volunteer event. Nobody gets paid. That includes all of us. We do this because we love it. And all of us work a full-time job at the same time. And it's very challenging, but we enjoy it so much that we've been doing this for 17 years now. Though this is the first virtual event that we've ever done, but we're super excited how it's turning out. So please sign up on the pledge tomorrow and do some more cleaning. Don't forget to recycle. Take a picture of your bags. Let us know how many pounds you get, how much you recycle. We want all that information if we can. And tomorrow night we're going to do another live stream program. That'll be day 3. And we're going to meet Zach Fisher and Isabella Zawistowski and their movie. And then the other program we have tomorrow night is Kate Rutherford. She's going to be talking about the nonprofit Farm to Crag and also climbing in the Grand Tetons. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Thank you.
Bye.